Are you ready for ladies and gentlemen? I've been talking about on the other video. It's about time. So here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, women all shapes and sizes. Let's get ready to roll and rumble. Here we got a good one right here. We've been waiting for this one for quite a while. Here we go. We got a cop says Department of Justice wrong for charging and Breanna Tayler death. Oh yeah, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the bullpen. He's back in the bullpen today.
And before we start it up, it's called former officer Brandon Tatum rejoins the bullpen to discuss the federal authority charges against the cop involved in the Breanna Tayler shooting. Oh yeah. Let's let it roll, shall we?
Former officer and noted commentator on things law enforcement and social, Mr. Brandon Tatum. Mr. Tatum, good day.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being back. So we're going to chop it up about the new indictments. You have multiple indictments from the Department of Justice in relation to the murder and also scheme to cover up Breanna Tayler. I don't want to presume what you know or feel about this particular Department of Justice prosecution or theory of their indictment. So if you would, provide us with your sentiment, and I would then opine.
Yeah, I think that the entire indictment, in my personal opinion, seems like a witch hunt to me.
This is something before we go. I got something for you right here. Suck and spit. Come and get some, you blue line thin motherfucker.
Search warrant. They should be brought to justice. They should go to jail. But there's two other individuals that are on this indictment that have no relation to the search warrant. They have no relation, or at least the lies that were spoken about on the search warrant. They have no relation to it. Brett Hankinson was already acquitted of the exact same charge that they're charging him with on a federal level, and also the sergeant that's involved in this that I believe is not going to be found guilty is another individual that I think that they engrafted into this to bolster their case and to create or continue what I would consider to be a witch hunt.
So let me correct you on one dynamic, dear brother. The officer that you just referenced, who has been charged by the state crime and acquitted, is not charged with that crime federally. He was charged with wanton endangerment by way of Daniel Cameron, the Attorney General, black male Republican, who said he actually put in danger the neighbors of Miss Tayler. He was indicted for that wanton endangerment, which is a rarely used statute on the state books, and was found not guilty. So when you say that the federal government charged him with the same thing, the federal government does not have a wanton endangerment statute on the federal code. Are you aware of that?
Well, I think that you're mincing words.
How?
Relatively, to me, it's relatively the same thing. It's relatively the same thing. They're trying to portray that he was negligent in the shooting that he was involved in. And that's the same thing that they attempted to prosecute him on in I would argue, a more liberal state case. And then now they're trying to reactivate it on the federal level. I'm just saying, based on my knowledge in law enforcement and based on my knowledge of justice, he's not going to be found guilty in federal court. This is a waste of time. They're trying to engraft as many officers as they can to bolster their case. They got two people that are clearly appear to be in the wrong, and they should be prosecuted.
Now, that's really interesting. So I'm going to deal with your statement about the wanton endangerment in a moment. They're not the same. It's not the same charge, and it's not even the same theory. I will explain that to you in just a moment. You called this a witch hunt in the beginning of your commentary, and then you proceeded to say, however, 50% of the cops who have been arrested, all right, they should be arrested. You still stand by that. So that's not a witch hunt. You're saying that two of the cops that have been charged, they should have been charged based on the information that you have.
Well, let me explain. Let me explain what I'm saying by this. It's because when I say a witch...
No, he's just gonna do a cop explaining 101. This is what cops do. Even former cop, they try to do their cop explaining tactic 101.
I mean that they're engrafted.
That's what they do. They try to
bolster a case. If they really wanted these individuals charged, they could have been charged on a state level. Or if you charge them on a federal level, just charge the two people that are involved in the crime in which you're pursuing, and not try to add as many officers as you can, which is going to weaken the case, and people are going to be more upset because only probably two of these officers are going to be indicted, or at least be being found guilty. I believe one of them already pled guilty. So this is just another element that I believe the federal government is wasting taxpayer dollars on. They could go after the two individuals that they believe they have probable cause for, and the other two individuals they're trying to stack it to bolster their case, which is, in my opinion, a witch hunt.
So let's go through the elements here. You are a former member of law enforcement, so you do have an understanding of the law. Two individuals decided to engage not only in prerequisite false information, which is a violation of oath of office. They lied on affidavits, provided false testimony. They also engaged in the cover-up. So afterwards, when they met, decided to conspire in order to cover up the initial crime of faking the documentation to obtain the warrant. So that's one indictment. That indictment covers the cops who were involved in the paperwork prerequisite that led to the death of Breanna Tayler. The second indictment charges Detective Hankinson, as you mentioned, with the civil rights offense for firing his service weapon into the apartment. Now, here's the dynamic that I think you're missing. In the original state charge, the wanton endangerment was about reckless conduct and how that reckless conduct created a safety issue for those around Breanna Tayler and her then boyfriend. The scope of this federal indictment talks about the reckless conduct directly at Miss Tayler. As an officer, let me ask you this. Have you ever, without verifying the identity and without a known threat, have you ever or known someone, one of your colleagues perhaps, that fired into an apartment, a house, a window that had curtains and knew not who they were firing upon? Has that ever happened to you?
It's never happened to me. Let me bring this to light too. Everybody that's involved in this is presumed innocent until proven guilty. I just want to make the statement that it appears that they have probable cause to make the arrest that they've made, at least on two of them. I just want to make sure that's clear because people.
Well, that's clear.
They may not
I would like you to answer my question.
They may not be found guilty. But I'll answer the second question.
This guy, this former cop, he's cop-splaining.
That Brett Hankinson
he's deflecting and cop-splaining.
Was cleared already.
Even former cops are fucking
determined that his actions were at least reasonable in the scope of his explanation.
That is incorrect.
Could it have endangered people? The answer would be it could have, but was it negligent?
Yeah, it could have. See, there you go. Right there.
It could have.
It might have.
He shoot at a person that he could not see. That's not what happened.
You're incorrect on the law here, Mr. Tatum. I would encourage you to go and research the law.
Well,
the law does not require.
Incorrect on the law. Correct me exactly what you're speaking about because I read it. I read the indictment. I read the original case. I made videos about it.
Well, if you read the indictment, you would have read that this was not an issue.
I would tell that officer, how much of the law have you read? Say, how much of the Bill of Rights and the amendments of the law have you read into when you became a cop, sir? How much of that stuff have you read into?
Of intent, but an issue of.
In the indictment, it says that his behavior and his intent led him to fire shots that were unjustified, knowingly presenting a danger to the public, presenting danger to other people that are in the apartment complex.
Sir, I'm going to try.
I only shooting into the resident.
All right, Mr. Tatum, I only have a few minutes to correct the error. So the more you talk, the more errors I have to correct. So first, the indictment does not charge that the officer intentionally tried to commit murder. That's why the officer is not actually charged with murder. Do you understand that?
It's not murder because he never shot Breanna. That's
okay.
The reason why it's not murder.
Do you understand there is no attempt to murder? There is no murder dynamic, and the reason is because there is no intent. You have to prove the intent element for murder to stick. So,
Dr. Richie, you're not understanding the justice system. They don't have nothing
you
to
the one
charge
don't
him with.
understand, dear brother. I'm trying to be patient with you and educate you, but give me about 60 seconds. I think I can do it within that time and give you the opportunity.
This fucking motherfucking ex-cop say he's going to join, try to own Dr. Richie. Good luck with that, dude. See, this motherfucker, that's all he's doing is cop-splaining one-to-one. He's just going to back his fucking protocol. And even though he's an ex-cop, he's going to fucking back his fucking fellow brothers and that fucking bleed the blue. In his mind, that's all he's going to run. It's like, we should all just fucking back the blue, that only blue lives matter. See, he's just fucking deflecting and cop-splaining one-to-one. Like I said, it's like, yeah, all fucking loser pigs and cops stick it together. All dirty cops stick together. And we got another one right here.
to respond. So the officer, because of his negligence, known or should have known, that firing inside of an apartment that he could not see, and firing through a curtain and window that he cannot see through would create an absolute danger to a citizen in this country. That's why I asked you specifically, have you ever done that before? Have you known any of your colleagues to do that before? And you have told me no, which means you know it's criminal. Your colleagues know it's criminal.
It's not true.
Have you? So you've never done it. You don't know any other cop that has done it. Well, this cop did it. And you're saying it's not criminally negligent.
When Hankinson did it, was he found guilty in a court of law?
Sir, he was charged with wanton endangerment of a neighbor. He was never charged. So
was his actions endangering anybody?
Sir,
according to the charge.
This is very simple. All right, let me take you back to elementary school. The officer in question has never been charged with the crime in relationship to Breanna Tayler, number one. Number two, the federal government has concurrent jurisdiction to investigate and to prosecute crimes in the United States of America. They decided to charge this cop with the absolute negligence created and with the shooting inside of her apartment, not knowing or establishing the target whatsoever. You have already admitted this is not normative behavior. You've never done it. Your colleagues have never done it.
I said that I've never done it. I don't know any person that's done something specific like that. But clearly, there's articulable reasons why he did the shooting in the way in which he did it. Because they charged him.
What the hell are you talking about,
not guilty.
Brother? So let's go back to the original charge of wanton endangerment, since you want to keep it there. You are aware that it doesn't matter if he was found guilty or not.
Oh, yeah, let's stop there for a second. You know what, this fucking Brandon Tatum guy, this is the same fucking loser, jackass, that says the Black Lives Matter movement is fucking domestic terrorist. Whoa! Oh, yeah. We can get deeper on that, but I don't have enough fucking time. Well, I just want to keep it going for this story.
Guilty of that particular element,
like I said,
of a crime,
this fucking ex-cop
of Miss
only
Tayler,
cares about the thin blue line.
Taylor's apartment.
He's probably one of the motherfuckers that says, "Oh, black lives don't matter. Only blue lines matter." Yeah, well, fuck you. You're ex-cop, motherfucker. Of course, you're being blue
as it relates to her apartment. You do understand the difference here with
he's just another IQB.
Right? What I'm telling you is that he's not going to be found guilty. Because there's already
you want to put your money where their mouth is, Scott? I'll bet you $50 right here that you won't be found guilty. You will be found guilty.
That is being
liberal peers that are not favorable to him. On a federal level, they're going to draw from peers that are a lot more favorable to Brett Hankinson in his original trial.
So this isn't about guilt or innocence. This is about some jury members being favorable to him.
It will be. I'm just telling you.
But that's what you're saying. You're not saying this is about his guilt or innocence.
You're trying to create
You just
arguments.
said. No, sir.
And that's the thing as well too. A lot of cops bank on the juries persuade, to kiss butt for the cops like that as well. They're saying to make it say, "Oh, they're not." I said, "Yeah," because you know what half the problem. The problem is a lot of times when a lot of juries are paid because they don't know much about the law. They're going to believe whatever the police say. That's why they're sitting there saying, like, if a cop's on stand and testifies, the jury's going to say, "Well, he's telling the truth, so we're not guilty." But a logical person that knows about the law just as much, if not more, about the cops, and there are people out there that probably on the jury, go know lawyers, attorneys like that, they'll look into the facts. They do the research. They do the homework. A logical person that works 9 to 5, is want to go to say, "Oh, all cops are good cops. I just, they protect the community. I go home to my kids and my family, or my wife or my husband, shit like that." They don't know much of the law. They're gonna believe the cops like that. They watch the news like, "Oh, that's where it fucked up. Maybe, maybe Breanna Taylor had a gun. Oh, well, maybe she didn't obey the law, like George Floyd." See, that's the problem. That's the problem. See, that's the thing about these cops like that, like these that dirtbag motherfucker. They bank on people that get on the jury that don't know much about the law at all. They bank on the people on the jury that don't do the research as well to find out about the dirty cops as well. They bank on that shit, and you got a pig that says that.
You just said this was about a jury being favorable to him.
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
No, he did say that. And Dr. Britt said, yeah, you're trying to say that the jury will be favorable. I was like, yeah, because cops bank on that fucking shit. They bank on that. That the jury, the majority of the jury don't know the facts, the background. They don't do the research. They don't do the homework. They don't dig deep and probe into the case and the story as well. Cops bank on that shit, especially when they go and testify in court. And then when they look at like you the straight face and say, I'm telling the truth, nothing but truth, like shit like that. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Cops lie. Cops do lie. They do lie. They plant evidence. They seize all kinds of shit. Oh yeah. I've done many stories where cops planting guns, money, and grooming and molesting women out there, even children, and they get away with it.
So this is how the justice system works. They're going to draw from a particular jury pool, right? And the jury pool was incredibly liberal. More than likely, they were not.
Are you aware of the jury pool? You're going to draw federal government.
You're going to draw from more conservative, liberal, conservative.
I don't even know where you get that from. The jury pool,
and I guarantee you, he's not going to get charged.
Well, sir, he's already charged.
He's not going to be found guilty.
Okay. So you do realize that the jury pool has expanded because of the jurisdiction of the federal government. It's not a limited jury pool. It's more of an expanded jury pool. And before I go, brother, I just want to ask you this question.
Which makes it different.
Really quick question.
You expand from Kentucky as a whole. It's more favorable.
Is it wrong, sir, is it wrong for a police officer to shoot inside of an apartment without having eyes on the target and shooting through windows that are closed and doors they cannot see through? Is that right or wrong?
It depends.
No shots being fired, no established contact with the target, no...
See, there he goes. He said, it depends. Yeah, he's deflecting. He's fucking cosplaying. Depends on what? If there's something suspicious going on there or domestic violence in there? Oh, yeah, it depends. Come on. This motherfucker's just cosplaying and deflecting.
Weapons, no threats, no nothing.
Contact with the target.
Sir, is that legal or illegal?
In the doorway.
Is that legal or illegal?
He identified the target in the doorway. He moved his position to the window, which he knew in the general area where he was shooting at, and he was found not guilty.
The target was drugs and money.
No, it wasn't.
Did you know that? Sir, in the warrant they signed, the target was drugs and money.
None of that. The warrant was a no-knock warrant, motherfucker. Dumbass cop this eyes.
By the way, they found zero.
Well, you see, this is why people like me are doing what I do. Breanna Tayler was the
yeah, did you hear that? He said, what's that, bootlicking? Yeah, being a liberal fucking snowflake. Come on, that's all this big dude been doing on this down there. That's all he been doing, fucking cosplaying one-on-one. God dang! Oh my god! But you're gonna have pukes like fucking Finding Freedom, Fellow Fail, Dinkies, Mikey, and Plump and Dump Leg, Kathleen White, gonna sit and say, oh, this cop knows what he's talking about. Oh, yeah, he's right of the law. Yeah, right. Fuck.
Original target. There's a person on the warrant, and then there's a warrant for search. She was shot. Her boyfriend was sitting in the house for about 15 minutes before they ever came in to rescue Breanna.
Sir.
There was a potential that they could have flushed drugs and all kinds of other different things.
A young woman who was innocent or not?
Say that again.
Did they murder a young woman who was innocent? Should be alive today?
No, I don't see it that way. I see it that she was killed.
Why did they cover it up?
It was unfortunate.
Why did they cover it up?
It's not. You
admit it.
Cover up.
Why did they cover it up, brother?
There's not a. They covered it up. There's two different elements here.
Why did they cover it up?
The warrant. There's people who executed the warrant who actually shot her.
You're not going to answer the question.
And then there's people who were drafting the warrant that had nothing to do with the execution of the warrant.
We'll bring it back when I have more time.
Fucking that motherfucker's a fucking pansy, fucking bootlicking piece of shit, man. God dang, he makes me want to have a fucking drink. Seriously, fuck. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Fucking, that's all these cops do. They fucking larp and explain like that. Yeah, I can't believe it like that. Well, it's unjustified shit. And that's the problem. We get freaking, no-knock warrants as well. Fuck. And you can say, oh, it's unfortunate. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Fucking cops do it all the time. They get away with the fucking all kinds of shit. They do. They get away with it all the time. Fuck. And like I said, you get cops like that fucking puke scumbag that bank on juries. They're biased. there are 4 of the cops and get citizens. There was like, well, it's a person that died. Well, maybe it should have like I said, they should have obeyed the law. No, it doesn't happen. You get cops out there get away all kinds of bullshit. They do. All right, I'm out here, Mike Chuck. Peace out.